Welcome, everybody, to NFC North West Coast Edition, and Merry Christmas! Happy holidays to everybody out there. We have a good one today because we have the entire NFC North fandom in the house today. So, want to welcome Eddie and Dylan to the podcast. It has been a while, fellas. Before we get into football, how's everyone doing?
Good.
Why did we start with Merry
Good.
Christmas? There's nothing merry about it.
Yeah, there is. I just finished wrapping all the presents. Ready for Christmas. It's great.
Nice. Dill, how you doing?
You know, it's going pretty good. Actually going to be coming out to California in about 2 weeks. So.
Ooh.
Nice. Well, we'll see you.
Yeah.
We'll see you over here. Oh wait, you guys. I forgot my. I'm just gonna leave that right there.
Let me get it for you. Yeah, let me get it for you right here.
All right. Well, again, another wild week in the NFC North, and it was a good one, great one. You know, cardiac bears strike again, but I'll take it. Let's recap the NFC North standings. The Bears staying on top, 11-4, and thanks to your Lions, Eddie, clinched a playoff berth, so that's nice.
It's okay.
You're
I was
welcome.
happy about that loss too.
Yeah.
Packers in second, sitting 9-5-1. Lions still in it, 8-7, and Vikings officially eliminated, but 7-8, and they can still finish above 500. So, I mean, where do we want to start, everybody? Should we just?
I think in order.
All right, we'll start with the Saturday primetime flex game. Packers, Bears, and the Bears got their redemption. All right, let's hear it. Let's hear the excuses. Come on, I've been hearing it for
Excuses?
several days now. Let's hear it.
What
Jordan Love was out. Oh, Micah Parsons was out.
Okay,
oh,
wait.
blah,
I didn't
blah,
say
blah.
anything, but if I've sat here all year where you've said every time one player goes off, the next one comes in, cool. But you've defended your Bears. Okay, we didn't have room on Tuesday, so that's something. Oh, they didn't have Amon-Ra St. Brown, so you got to take that into consideration. But right now that it's the Packers, you don't take that into consideration?
Of course, but I mean, I said it at the moment Jordan Love went down. I said this is a lose-lose situation for the Bears because if the Bears lose, they lose, obviously. And if they lose to Malik Willis or win, it's a lose-lose. Yeah, so I mean,
Malik Willis we love him. Packer Nation loves Malik Willis, but we have to understand there's limitations. Like, he is not Jordan Love.
okay, but Malik Willis also doesn't play the other 21 positions on the field. So
Of course,
especially on defense.
He holds no fault in this game, none whatsoever. I honestly think he gave us the best chance that we had, and for 95% of the game, we controlled the game. And then we beat ourselves, and that's not taking away anything from Caleb throwing that beautiful pass to win overtime. That's not taking away from DJ Moore catching probably a top 10 catch of the year. That's not taking any of that away. You guys still won the game that you guys had at hand. We lost the game that we had at our hand.
How do you define control of the game? Because you've been saying this quite often. And I'm not quite understanding.
You had to get a fumble, a face call, which was face mask. It was a stupid face mask. But if 5 or 6 things don't happen the way that they did, it was at this point, I believe that the Bears might have some destiny going on because so many things had to go right for you guys to even get a chance to win this game.
I don't know. You guys, you feel free to jump in at any time from your perspectives, but
I was quickly just looking up one stat here, and I was looking up Malik Willis's rating, and it's quite high.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah,
he did quite good, 142, and I don't know. I don't see anywhere. Let me just go back to where I was at.
I mean, if
I
you're
don't see
saying
anywhere on Jordan Love's stats that I see a 142.
What?
I don't know. I might as well just play Malik Willis and
I mean,
just get rid of Jordan Love.
the reality is though is to say you guys were in control the entire game. When Jordan Love was playing, you led to 2 field goal drives. The Bears defense did what they had to do. The Packers were 0-5 in the red zone. And here's the thing. Is the Packers are going to move the ball. There's no question about it. Matt LaFleur is a great offensive mind. You have, 2 quarterbacks now that have been in the system multiple years and a great running back, solid receivers. They've all been in this system for multiple years. And
yeah, but Caleb couldn't get anything going until the last quarter. Caleb was pretty much held in check.
The first quarter, actually, we moved the ball quite nicely.
Sure. And then nothing after that until the last quarter.
Yeah, but to say that you guys were,
and Malik
the score
was never held in check. Malik was able to move the ball every single time he needed to move the ball.
Well, I can say yes, the Bears definitely didn't have an adjustment to, Malik Willis constantly scrambling. And of course, that I will say is, in my opinion, you could tell they put together a nice game plan for Jordan Love.
Sure.
And when Malik Willis came in, it definitely was a hard adjustment for them. But I don't know. I think to say that if you're defining, and that's why I asked the question is, what are you defining as in control? If you're saying
we were going to win the game and you guys needed, if that 4th down happens and it's not a face mask, game over. If you don't get the stupidest onside kick formation that Rich Bisaccia needs to get fired, which call me whatever you want, consistent is one thing you have to call me with that piece, because that guy is stupid as hell and he's the highest paid coordinator in the league. So he needs to get fired, because why would you set up Bo Melton to be a blocker? Like, okay.
You don't set up one of your worst receivers.
Hey, now he's a dual threat receiver, cornerback.
Okay. You don't. What's the guy's
whole entire season?
Have you seen Spaceballs?
Yes.
What's the captain
Dark Helmet?
Dark Helmet. You don't set Dark Helmet to be the fucking person that tries to catch the ball. You can't even see it. So, okay. The point I'm trying to get at is a lot of things had to go right and they went right for you. But if any of just one of those things don't go right, you guys lose this game. And we were the ones on the road. We were the ones that didn't have our starting quarterback. So yes, am I upset about this game? Hell yes. But I'm also proud of the players and the grit that they had, losing so many players. And yes, I know that you guys didn't have a Dunze. I know you didn't have Luther Burden. I get all of that. But it's still not the same comparison to losing your starting quarterback. It's just not a 1-to-1.
Well, no, but I'm not saying anything about that because, like I said, I knew it was going to be a lose-lose situation regardless. But what I'm just saying is...
You mean lose for me? Because I lost my fantasy and my game.
If you're saying in control, were the Bears struggling offensively? Yes. But it never, yet in the past, 5 minutes of the 4th quarter, it definitely felt like, the game was out of reach.
13-3 or 13-6 or something like that in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah.
And then we scored again.
Yeah.
And you were still down 6-20 or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, it was a 2-score game, with less than 5 minutes left in the game.
To say that we weren't in control for most of the game is also disingenuous. We were. I think the bigger narrative should be that the Bears did what was in front of them. They had the opportunities that they had, which were few at the end. They took advantage of them. It's not their fault that the Packers lost that onside kick. They took advantage of that. And on top of that, I'm not taking the credit away from Caleb Williams. The can throw to DJ Moore. Oh my God, that is ballsy. For overtime, ballsy. But all of the mistakes were by the Packers. I think, in my opinion, the Bears didn't beat us. The Packers beat themselves.
Well, but that's what I'm saying is that Malik Willis isn't playing defense on,
of course,
4th and goal. It was 4th and 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
But that is an incredibly difficult throw to Caleb Williams, to Jade Walker, who has his first reception of the year, undrafted free agent. This is let me finish before you go. But what I'm just, I guess I'm getting at is this has been the Bears' identity all season long. And, it's also fault to the Packers for not, if you were so in control of the game, put us away more, put us away sooner.
But you guys are also the most opportunistic defense in the league, and you guys showed that. You on the on the goal line, you took the ball away twice. You did
one time, I think.
That was twice.
There was once.
The fumble,
could be.
the Josh Jacobs fumble. But no, yeah, and I mean, again, credit to the defense, and
the other one was at the end of the game to do overtime to get the ball at the 50. Sorry.
Oh, well, that
yeah.
was a bad snap from Malik Willis. So
no, it was our center.
Well, that's what bad exchange. Let me say that.
But yeah, I agree.
It's just, and I get it. Like, the Bears are never going to get away from the narrative of, oh, they played backups, or, oh, they played all these teams. But again, like,
that's football.
It is. It's football, and it like I mean, I'm just as surprised as anybody else. Like, trust me, like, I was very pissed off at the end of that game. I was like, here we go again. I don't understand it. We can't. And the other thing is, the weird thing about Caleb is, like, he just seems to turn it on at the end of games.
Sure.
I mean, and I'm not quite sure, once he puts it together for an entire, 60 minutes, this team is going to go to another level. And that's very exciting.
He needs to, because he hasn't, but I do think he could. We don't know yet, though. Yep. Okay, well, that hit, though, I won't go to the extreme that some people are going that it's dirty, but it was a bad hit. Like, that wasn't some of the games that we play where the running back or the wide receiver is coming down. I'm not saying it was dirty, but you still need to know you don't lead with your helmet.
What is he supposed to do there? Jordan Love bends
have you
over
seen
his...
all of the... First of all, that same player 2 times already he got flagged once before, and 2 times before that seemed like he was going 100% body weight onto Jordan Love.
No.
Call it if you want, and that's fine. Difference of opinions. But that hit, look at all of the other experienced players. They're not leading with their helmet. They're going full pads, full chest into their players because they don't want to.
How do you tackle with your chest? You're supposed to.
They either go to the side or they're gonna go and they're gonna hug their player. They're not going this. They're not putting their head down.
I have comments about this when we talk about the Vikings.
Okay.
I'll incorporate that with.
Go ahead.
But I have something about that. That's for sure. Oh well. Okay, so like, draw a line with the quarterback, right? You draw like a perfect, a stick figure line with what he is to his helmet, right? Same thing with Jackson Dart. When these quarterbacks are getting hit, if you like look at that line right before they get hit, the only thing that moves is their headline, and it goes towards the hit, or it goes towards the point of contact. So for a defender tackling, that ball's gonna that head, your shoulders.
Am I allowed to put the video for when I edit?
Yeah, go for it.
Slow mo and super zoom in.
Go for it.
Okay, and I'll regular speed and then slow mo, so no one says that it's because it's not the speed of the game.
Yeah.
Cool.
You're allowed, like, you're leading with your shoulder.
I'll put the little cross thing that he wants too in editing.
When a quarterback moves his body, moves only thing that's moving forward towards the tackle is his head, just like Jackson Dart, just like Jordan Love. Of course, that's going to initiate the first.
Jordan Love wasn't running. He was in the pocket.
So no, he wasn't running. Neither was Jackson Dart. They were both in the pocket, about to like they were both like kind of sort of scrambling, not really, but they were both next to tackles and guards. It was just.
So
yeah, go ahead.
Let's let Eddie go first, and then you can pop in.
Off of a little bit what Dylan was saying. So for me, yes, Jordan Love was standing in the pocket, surveying the field. He's not scrambling. But when I watched it live and watched it, after the fact, to me, it's that Jordan Love is bracing for the hit, and you could see as Booker, right?
Yeah.
As Booker is launching, where that hit would be normally to the chest.
But Jordan, it still would have been helmet to the chest, though, wouldn't it?
When he's launching, to me, again, like I said, your video could I'm going off of memory. To me, I would assume that he's launching to, off mic, but the tackle with the chest so the head goes beyond him. But Jordan Love kind of crunches up, as you would do, like Dylan would say, where you're like bracing for impact. And unfortunately, when you do that, as you're trying to like cave your chest in, your helmet goes down, and so Jordan Love's angle is directly into the crown of the helmet.
Can I
That's all I
say
was
that
saying.
I don't disagree to an extent, right? Like I did say, I don't think it's a dirty hit. I just think that it was bad formation. It was bad to lead with the helmet at any point. But I don't think it was dirty. I don't think it was, I want to kill Jordan Love. I think that would, and not Packers fans are probably going to kill me for this. I think what Nixon did
Oh yeah,
to-
Keyshawn's
to-
dirty hit. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a dirty
to
hit.
DJ Moore, that's a dirty
Yes.
fucking hit.
Yeah,
I mean, granted, I really want Nixon out of this fucking team.
I'm glad he got
But-
burnt at the end too.
I mean, I'm not, but
know you're
if
not, but
someone
yeah.
was going to get burned, I'm glad
Yeah.
it's that asshole.
Yeah.
But I think that that's a dirty hit.
Yes.
It's not just, it wasn't bad fundamentals. It was a bad hit or
It's-
dirty hit.
It's just one of those things, and when you do put the clip in, put it from the beginning, because here's the reality of the situation is that Austin Booker was being blocked at first. He was not creating any pressure, but he swim move around whatever your offensive lineman and saw the lane and sprinted full speed towards Jordan Love, and Jordan Love kind of sees him coming, takes a step up in the pocket, and then lowers his head, and it's like it's such a bang bang play, and it is going to be in difference of, views and opinions, and I understand that. But, even at the halftime, Howie Long basically said that was a dirty hit. And Michael Strahan immediately was like, that wasn't a dirty hit. That was full speed.
Right.
And so you have two of Hall of Famers that clearly have two differing opinions
Kinda
on
like
what
Wade.
just happened. So, but this is the kind of things that I'm constantly talking about with the NFL and their rules. And it's hard for me to think that anybody would lead with the crown of their helmet, because that is like
You'll break your own spine.
exactly, like you will go paralyzed if you do that. Everybody knows that the way you tackle is with your shoulder pads.
But
So I don't again, going full speed. Jordan Love was behind one of the offensive linemen. You kind of steps up to the side, and then that's when the contact happens.
But that's what I'm trying to say. I don't think it was a dirty hit. I started with, that was my thesis. I'm saying it was bad fundamentals. He did lead with his crown of his helmet. It doesn't matter where Jordan Love's going to be at any trajectory. He still led with his helmet. Again, I don't think he did it, I want to kill Jordan Love. But he's still young, and he's leading with his helmet. No matter where the quarterback was going to be, he was either going to break his chest with his helmet, wouldn't have been a flag, but it did end up hitting his head.
Okay, by definition, then I see bad fundamentals versus a bad hit. Again, I'm defining those in two very different ways. Like, to me, a bad hit, I'm thinking is like you're saying it's a dirty hit.
I didn't say dirty, though. I
know that, but that's what I'm alluding to.
I even said that Nixon was dirty. I think he was trying to kill DJ Moore.
Yeah, that was. And I mean, it's frustrating because you could tell DJ was battling the entire game through that, and just at that last play laying out, and he couldn't even celebrate at first because he was just purely exhausted.
Penalty too, just couldn't get set for that 1 second on the run back. He's just dead tired.
Yeah,
just
dude.
Literally.
Wild.
He was beat.
Yeah, he definitely.
Even though I thought he was.
We talked about it when we watched it live, that it was like the whole 1 second count thing. Like, he got set, but it wasn't a one Mississippi set.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who was Brady commenting on that game.
Yeah, I don't know why
Kevin
he's doing
Burkhardt
so
and
many
Brady.
Well,
Bears games
but-
lately.
I don't-
He had
it's anything on
like,
Fox.
Right when they
I hate
replayed
it.
it, he was like, "Oh, he wasn't set." Like,
Mhm.
like when he said
Yeah.
set, he kind of was like, "Wait, what?"
I-
All right, let's move on. Let's move on.
I do want to state that no matter they're not excuses. I think that they're just
Oh, it's a
You-
different game for sure.
yeah,
of
and
course.
I'm just saying it's nuanced because again, we both had a lot of inactives. We had our offensive line inactive.
Yeah.
We had some of the defensive players, and you had your wide receiving core is pretty much inactive. DJ Moore is still a elite wide receiver. Let's
Yeah.
not take that away.
Yeah.
But I do think that Jordan Love makes this a different game. I don't know if we win still. I just think it makes it a different game because you guys still have to adapt to Malik Willis.
Yeah, and again, I would have loved for him to be in the game to see, because
My fantasy
like I
team would
said,
have
I could tell that they had a very different game plan for Jordan Love versus 2 weeks ago. We weren't blitzing. We were playing more
Yeah.
zone coverage. Again, stopping him twice in the red zone. That's not easy to do. So, again, and maybe also because the possession, like time of possession was so one-sided for the Packers, where that could be a reason why our offense just couldn't really get into rhythm, because it really felt like, you know, you guys were really taking a lot of time off the clock with
But you
the,
still don't
the
call
double
like
rushing
that's what I'm
attack.
trying to say is like we controlled a lot of this game. Like you could call it however you want to call it. I think that when it mattered most, you guys took control.
From a time of possession
I was gonna
standpoint,
say,
yes.
If that's how you're defining it, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Dominated time of possession, long methodical
Yeah.
drives.
We had more.
No.
Yeah, but it never really felt like the game was out of reach.
hand.
Oh, never.
Yeah.
It
You
was
know,
never.
and
Especially
and
with Matt
it did.
LaFleur.
It did in like in that last five minutes when we're down 2 scores. At that point,
That
it's
throw to
like,
Walker,
here we go.
I thought
think
was
for
a
everybody,
throwaway.
it just felt that in.
Yeah,
The fourth down to Walker, the floater.
yeah.
I thought I said it live. I was like, oh my god, he just threw the ball away, and then it right in his hands. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my god.
Hey,
that was-
who do you think he got the touchdown on?
Oh, Nixon. That's what I said. No, that's why I said that. I'm glad he got burned at the end. Yeah, that's
No,
what
he
I was
got
talking
burned
about.
twice at the
Twice.
end.
Well, yeah, OT as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Fuck Nixon.
the last things I'll say is, again, this is the storyline for the Bears this season. You know, I'm pretty sure the Packers win probability was like 99.1% that the game was over. And you can tell that everyone on this team is so bought in and they do not give up. And Caleb Williams, yet again, the guy really does have ice in his veins, and he is super clutch. And this is the X factor that we talk about with quarterbacks. He doesn't have everything else figured out, but he has those clutch moments figured out.
Sure.
And that's why I'm very excited. If he can put it all together, then, like I said, this team takes the next level. And, you know,
I
go
agree though, the X factor part, but he does need to actually get 4 quarters going at some point.
oh, 100%.
That's the scary part of this offseason is that he's going to be focusing on the accuracy and the overall, like, Ben Johnson's offense is difficult. It's a timing offense to learn.
Yeah.
You got to trust that your player's going to be where he's supposed to be before you even throw the ball.
I
Like,
will
oof.
say this too. If we make the playoffs, I'm not afraid of the Bears. I'm not
I'm
afraid.
not afraid of the Packers.
That's fine. I think it's fine to have both those statements, but we almost beat you at your home and you almost beat us at our home. I don't think we could beat the Niners at their home. I just don't think we can.
We're gonna find out. The Bears will find out this weekend.
That's fine. The Niners have our number. It looked like we could beat you at your home.
It looked like we could beat you at your home.
You didn't, and that's
and
fine.
you didn't beat us
That's
at our
fine.
home. So
But
I don't know what your point is
weren't
right
as
now.
You weren't as close to beating us at our home than we were to beating you at yours. I think that we had more to do with our defeat.
What? We weren't as close as beating you. We were
2
literally,
scores. We were up 2 scores with 3 minutes left, 4 minutes left.
bro. We lost because the final play, Caleb threw a late ball and it got
That
intercepted.
was a touchdown. You weren't gonna win. You would have at the most gone to overtime.
And I think we were going for 2, and I think
I mean,
momentum.
Ben Johnson said
He
he would
said
go
he
for
would,
2.
yeah.
This game, he didn't go for 2.
Yeah.
So I don't know where that difference.
But
is.
to say that, what do you mean? If we're talking
We-
about win
You-
probability,
you needed to have a billion things go your way for you to win this game. In that game, you just needed to score and you didn't. That's the difference. That's the difference. You had the control in that game and didn't take it. In this game, you needed a fumble to happen. You needed to get a pass interference, a holding a face mask. The list keeps on going.
Okay, and in that game, you needed Jordan Love to play on his top notch. You needed a top end pass rusher to create pressure on Caleb Williams and make his life difficult.
Yeah, that's why you get those players. And that,
but again, like there are much more that your team during that game, right?
sure. So what's the excuse with this game? We didn't have those players.
I'm not making excuses. You're just saying that we were much closer to beating our team than we were at your stadium.
At what point were you up 2 scores on that game?
I don't know, but I don't know what that has to do with anything.
I'm saying that the Packers self-inflicted wounds are what caused this loss. It wasn't because you guys out-schemed us. You guys, we gave
Talk
you the ball.
about self-inflicted. The Bears had like over 100 yards
10 for
and
100,
penalties.
yeah.
So
Yes.
it goes both ways, bro. Like
Yeah,
there are
but
self-inflicted
you're not
wounds on
comparing
both sides.
penalties and fumbling the last.
Again, what's the excuse on the defensive end though? To give up 10 points in the last 3 minutes of the game, and then
Micah
the
Parsons.
onside
Micah
kick,
Parsons.
and then on top of that,
I'm throwing
the
those under the bus. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not defending any of those pieces of shit. Nixon needs to get fired. Rich Bisaccia needs to get fired. And Romeo Dobbs should not be allowed to come back on his team. I think once his contract's up, you let him go.
But you've been talking very highly of your defensive coordinator all season long.
Oh, no, we held your team for the most part under 200 yards or something like that. Like for the most of the he's not defending. He can't tell Keyshawn Nixon to defend. He tells him what assignments to do, and he got burned.
Man.
What are you gonna do? Like he had the right coverage to hold Caleb in check for the most part. He had the right assignments or the right calls to make sure your run team doesn't destroy us. You guys should have ran the ball all on us. We don't have our defensive pieces.
I'm gonna say one more thing, and then I'll hand it over to Dill and Eddie. But it's not how you start a game; it's how you finish it.
That's fair.
Sorry, you can't see him, but he's giving you wrestling moves right here. He's ready to lock.
But you guys, go ahead. Go ahead, Dill.
What do you think of the game?
So, as I was looking at the other game as well, I what I see is no team ever really had control of the game. I see Bears defense having control of the first half in a way. Yes, they didn't. The Bears offense didn't score, but shoot, that was pretty impressive to hold them to 2 field goals. I
think that was the first quarter, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but and at the same time, I didn't see Love performing the way that all Green Bay talks him up, and how you guys always.
He's right. It was 6-0 at half.
It was exactly. It's not at that point. That's one touchdown. You got the lead. In my mind, defenses ran the game. You can say that. You can say that I'd rather say the Bears offense. I couldn't say the Green Bay defense really ran the game in the half. I could say that the Bears offense just didn't get it going.
It was 16-6 at fourth quarter at that point, though.
Yeah, but okay, so let's go through it. So it's 6-0 at half.
Okay.
Third quarter, 6-3. Then the literally 33 seconds left in the third quarter, it becomes 13-3. So 13-3 going into the fourth quarter. You can't say that you were in control the entire game. Then it's 13-6. So now we're still only down by 1 possession.
What's the yards at this point? What's the time of possession at this point?
Jordan Love had 77 yards or 80-something yards.
Jordan Love died.
I know that, but when did he die? What quarter?
Second quarter.
Second quarter.
Yeah, middle of the second.
Middle of the second quarter. That's damn near a half. He's not proven to. Malik Willis came in and probably threw more.
What we do know about Jordan Love is that he sometimes doesn't turn it on until the second half.
Let me give you the rest of the breakdown, though, because, time of possessions and yardage, yes. But at the end of the day, in control, to me, is in control of the score. That's when you're in control, right? So fourth quarter, Bears are the first one to score, now 13-6. So now we're down by 7. And then it's not until 5 minutes left in the fourth that Green Bay kicks another field goal to go up 2 possessions, 16-6. Sure. And then that's when, in the last 2 minutes, the Bears go insane. So that's what I'm saying is, I can't get behind that, you were in control the entire game when the score was never really.
So if you lose 16-9, let's just say you get to that. If you would have lost, right? You don't take control. I would have still said that we still controlled most of that game.
Okay.
I think that you had your last 4 minutes, some of the best football I've ever seen from any team. And the rest, I don't think you were able to score. I don't think you were able to do anything with it. And don't get me wrong, I think the Packers didn't do anything in that first half too. I'm with you. But they were able to adapt with all the backups that they had, especially a backup quarterback. And it's still 16-9 against a very, very, very opportunistic defense. It's still against Ben Johnson, who should not have no points or 3 points and a half or 0 points and a half.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard to be opportunistic when the quarterback is not really throwing.
I mean, we say the same thing about Caleb sometimes.
No, but you're talking about the Bears defense specifically.
No, I get that.
It's hard to be opportunistic when you lead the league in interceptions. It's hard to.
I think he's
like,
good at fumbles too, though.
I mean, yeah, but
In my opinion, in control is a 2-score game. You know,
We had a 2-score
other
game.
sports, basketball, you're up by 3. You want to be up by 3 is whatever, up by 4 actually, whatever.
We did have a 2-score
Hockey,
game.
you want to be up a goal.
yeah,
blah,
but
blah,
you didn't
blah.
get that until 5 minutes left in the game.
With the first game, you know, Green Bay was up at half by
You're trying to get the stat. The stat is a score.
2 ball possessions.
All right.
I mean,
We could go back and forth here like all day long, to be honest. Let's hear Eddie's take on some of the things that was discussed.
Okay. So
Okay.
This isn't like a conversation normally. You just cut in. Just start talking.
no, I'm going in order. We're going Dylan then me. So for me, excuse me. Do you think that the Packers, to your point about the being in control, the time of possession piece, because they were marching up and down that field, but having to settle for field goals. That is a staple of the Dennis Allen opportunistic defense. It's a bend, don't break. That's the way it works, is that you tighten it down and you crunch them down when you're in the red zone. So the Packers look good in the first half as far as moving the ball. And on defense, while the Packers corners have had a bit of issues, they were still generating a lot of pressure on Caleb. It wasn't comfortable for that offense. The Bears offense was not performing well. And then I think that especially, when Malik came in, like to Jackie's point, and even at halftime, I don't think that they adjusted enough where, Malik's strengths are he's, Lamar light in the sense that he's a run first quarterback. He can throw, but I would be more afraid of his legs. And it showed for the first 3-4 drives that he was in that they just could not stop the zone option, the run option, all that. And because that Emmanuel Wilson also got going, so you had the dual threat action. And then, of course, what happens? Then you bite down on the run. He throws it over the top, so meaning the game plan that you guys had in place, knowing that how much you love Malik Willis, it wasn't just he was thrust in, oh my God, we have no idea what to do. We have to run the Jordan Love system, but he can't do it. So you were better prepared for that than the Bears. And I just think that when it comes down to like the fourth quarter, that's all you want to do is have a chance in the fourth quarter. And that's where I think that the Bears capitalized when you guys couldn't. And part of that is, opportunistic fumbles, an onside kick with an 8% chance or whatever it was to have happen. But
bad coaching also makes that higher percentage.
Sure. I'm not arguing. I'm not looking at formations, but I'm just saying that. So to me, like the control the game aspect from a time of possession standpoint and how easily you can move the ball. Yes. But I think to me, as someone like kind of to Dill's point, that like when you say you're controlling the game, I look at it as like what happened against you guys versus us. That's a little different where you are constantly answering every single thing we do. And there's nothing we can do to stop you or hold you. That to me is control of a game, not back and forth, that kind of
But then that just rewards the offense and not the defense at all.
No, because if the defense can stop it, then they're stopping you from controlling the game.
I said before they went on their run, we controlled
time of possession.
Yes. And I also think that we made it so really hard for Caleb to get anything going. He had 3 and outs all over the place.
Yeah, we weren't particularly good on third down this, that was what really hurt us. Like the Packers, I think, were 50% on third down and the Bears were well below that. So, I mean, again, I don't know how to attribute that. I don't know if it's, the play call, because the other thing is, I mean, 4th and 1, Ben Johnson dials up this wild trick play when it's windy as at Soldier Field.
Jesus.
And it just honestly, if we just run the ball there, I think we score.
Yeah.
And so, so I'm sure play calling can be, but this is what, I've been kind of talking about, and this is what I can appreciate with what Ben Johnson is doing with Caleb Williams is he's laying it on him, and sorry, Dill, but like, it's not quarterback friendly Vikings offense. It is like, I'm throwing you the most complicated schemes in the world and you need to figure it out. And I think, to Eddie's point is like the timing clearly wasn't there, but again, you're missing your, basically your 2 top receivers. I know that DJ, like you said, is very elite, but he's been kind of thrust in the background. Like you can tell a lot of things are roam first. And then, Luther's that, yak type player where he wants to get him the ball in space. And DJ can be kind of like that possession type, but we haven't really seen that much because I don't know why. I think maybe it's the play call. So there's just a lot to really, you know, kind of evaluate within this game. But, I think both of you guys make good points. And again, even though the Bears clinched a playoff berth, the division winner is still up for grabs. And it's going to be kind of, is there anything else you want to talk about in this game before because, we're like, oh.
I think that it was a good game. Besides it reminded me of the Seahawks onside kick.
Yeah.
I felt the same.
Yeah.
I also felt the same way about our coaches at that time, and I feel the same way about our coaches right now.
Yeah.
I'm mad and disappointed, and all this narrative on the whole, it's the prophecy because Aaron Rodgers had a concussion on his Super Bowl year. I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of differences too. We're not just looking at those. I think this is bad coaching, and we're not excusing bad coaching with a prophecy.
Yeah, I will say though, like I love the spiciness between Matt LaFleur and Ben Johnson.
Yes.
Just like
we need
the cold,
more of that in the NFL.
Yeah, the cold shoulder afterwards is like, ooh,
the tap with
yeah.
the storybook.
Yep.
Yeah. So I
love that part.
I enjoy it,
I love
and
storylines like that.
I have to say it though because this is what kind of annoys me about Packers fans is like they think that their team, and granted, you have dominated the Bears for several years, but there's just something that is frustrating where they just think that this franchise is the pinnacle of all franchises in the NFL. And yes, they have the most championships, but when it really comes down to it, you don't have the most Super Bowls. And there are other franchises that were founded after several years after the Packers that have more Super Bowl wins. So they keep saying, oh, the Bears playing the Packers is their Super Bowl, is their Super Bowl. Well, you guys got to stop acting like you literally have 1,000 Super Bowls. It's like...
Okay. I'm not going to that extreme, but we still have 4. Like, that's still a lot of Super Bowls.
Okay, I get it.
The Niners, the Cowboys, the Steelers, and the Patriots. That's it. That's it.
But 4 in the past, what, 60 years?
Most teams in that span don't even have. They have 1 or 2.
Actually, the Patriots have 5.
I said most teams. I already named the 4 that have more.
But I'm just saying it's that type of dynamic that like makes me so annoyed with Packers fans.
I love because we've been too nice to each other in this podcast. I love that it's getting to us too.
That's what annoys me. That's what annoys
4
me.
Super Bowls. That's an accomplishment.
Okay, but
Well,
you
Super Bowls are.
dominated the
We know.
Bears for the past 20 years and what have
don't
one
win
Super
them.
Bowl to show for it. So
Most
guess what? The
quarterbacks
Bears
have
can
won-
also be your Super Bowl.
No, because we actually have Super Bowls. We have 4.
But in the past 20 years you've been dominating the Bears.
That's
You have
fine.
one.
That is fine. We have 1 in the past 20 years.
We have
None of
4
us in our
Super
division
Bowls.
has even 1 in that
Losses.
time span.
I'm just saying.
Here's
They're
the thing.
they're
I'm with
annoying.
you. I'm with you with
They're
that narrative.
annoying.
I get that, but to still try to downplay 4 Super Bowls is crazy. That's crazy work. And we still have the most championships outside of Super Bowls too. So those are 2 things that the Packers
and
have.
the trophy's named after Lombardi.
Damn. Sheesh.
Damn, he threw it to you. This
Sheesh.
I mean, yeah, but yeah, gosh.
we did talk about why it was named that though. But that's all the point I'm trying to get at. I'm not going to the point that this is not about this is your Super Bowl, my Super Bowl. We're rivals, and this is the biggest it's felt in the rivalry in 20 years.
Well, yeah, and that's just what I'm saying is that immediately Packers fans are always like, haha, Bears won their Super Bowl. And it's like, first of all, you act like you don't want to beat the Bears just as much as we want to beat the Packers.
Agreed.
Like, that's just absolute shit. And so because, there has been this lopsidedness, for the past several years, it's just annoying to me where it's like, they want to say this is their Super Bowl. Okay, well, you know what? Your Super Bowl is being ousted the first week of the playoffs. So
fine.
it's like,
But Jackie,
what's worse? I don't know.
You said we had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks and we only have 1 Super Bowl for each one of those, right? And yeah, that sucks. But most Hall of Fame quarterbacks only have 1 or 2 Super Bowls max. We have a few. If you look at the list, there's a few.
But how many teams have back-to-back
like when
Super Bowl
The windows.
or
like the
Hall of
dominance.
Fame? How many teams have back-to-back Hall of Fame
the
quarterbacks?
49ers?
So one team. So
no, that's the one you asked me for a team. There's probably more. That's the one I could think about.
I would think it's less than you would think.
But if you look at the list, there's not that many Hall of Fame quarterbacks. It looks like there is, but there's not because you can only nominate one person per year, and most of them have 1 or 2 Super Bowls max, and most of them have 1. There are a few that have 3.
So what you're
4,
saying
5.
is you should at least have 2 Super Bowls then.
The majority have 1. The majority. There's most.
But when you have back-to-back Hall of Famers, you should at least have 1 for each one. So
individually, the Hall of Fame quarterbacks have 1 Super Bowl. The majority of them do. Okay, we have 2 Super Bowls for each one of them.
all right. Let's move on. Dill's been waiting. Look at he's all like checked out already.
I can't see him anyways.
All right. Well, we have the Vikings playing the Giants. Going into New York, winning the game 16-13. Dill, what do you got to say?
Sorry, I got sidetracked real quick because the Chicago Bears have a back-to-back Hall of Fame quarterback.
Oh.
Huh?
Okay. Ooh.
Well, it says Los Angeles Rams / Chicago Bears.
Who? I think we
Fun
have
fact of the week.
think we have like 1
and
Hall of
Van
Fame quarterback.
Brocklin
Who?
and Waterfield and Van Brocklin and Lane and Luckman.
Oh, I went to high school with those
Sid
guys.
Luckman. Yes, I know Sid Luckman, but who are the other ones?
I
don't know who.
Lane. It's just giving me last names here.
What, Bobby
Okay.
Lane?
Bobby Lane and Sid Luckman.
The curse of Bobby Lane.
So like
Bobby Lane.
so in the 40s when we were winning a ton of championships. Hey!
Hey. The 50s were the Lions, okay?
Boom! Well, there you go. All right. Well, thank you for your fun facts of the day. I never even said mine, but it's okay. You nailed it.
Wait,
so
that wasn't my fun fact. I guess.
okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
Let's go on to the Vikings.
All right. I got here's the first thought. Is JJ McCarthy just injury prone?
Ooh.
He's made out of glass. He's a chandelier.
To be honest, I'm a little scared. I'm representing the number 9. I'll represent it. I don't know where he's at. I got number 8 cousins over here as well. We got to represent what you have.
Yeah.
Diehard fan.
Sounds
But
like you buying all the jerseys for the players that might leave your team.
Now 3
Or
times, 4 times in 2 years. It's the X-rays can't come back. It is negative. They had an MRI.
Positive.
Could it be a ligament? Could it be a tear? Whatever. It just be a bone bruise. Exactly. For me, when I'm a big bot. Like I'm really good at like reading body language, reading stuff like that. When he wince, and I've had a lot of pain in my life. I've broken a lot of things. I've broken my hand. When he winced, man, that looked like a WWE wince, bro. It didn't look real to me.
A lot of wrestling references in this.
Oh yeah.
It didn't look like to me like, and I don't see during the hit by Burns, where his right hand was up. I don't see where it could have been hit, and then as he's falling to the ground, he's pointing at the ball, like with his hand, like the ball.
Sorry, we couldn't see you pointing over there.
Sorry, the ball.
Oh no, I was talking about your finger.
Well, he was pointing with his whole hand. That's my point. He was using his whole hand to point. Like he wasn't.
I'm just kidding.
He wasn't.
I'm just joshing you.
The ball. But my thing is it's not the first, like the ankle thing. We all saw him on the sideline during the game when he jumped over Jefferson, I think, and
I just don't. I just wonder if they're like being too careful with him. Because I mean, and I would understand it to a certain extent, but this kid needs reps, and it's just I don't know.
I agree. In the beginning of the season, preseason I was all for just making sure he was okay and babying him until the season hit, and I kind of choked on my words there, and all of a sudden he has a high ankle sprain, and then he's got a concussion. Say that you're only as good as your availability.
Yeah.
Yes, we don't officially need him right now. We're out of playoffs. Yes, I understand, but this is the perfect time. Even if you're playing through a little bone bruise,
Yeah, you got nothing
I
to
think
lose. So,
you should probably play.
yeah.
To be honest, you need the rep.
You're playing for your job at this point.
Yeah, so I mean, you're kind of already talking about it, but and it's hard obviously to evaluate it because, he's had so many missed games and injuries, but so far, what are your thoughts on JJ McCarthy?
I my that I'm feeling is when he's throwing the ball, even with his interceptions, like his last couple of games, and even just kind of seeing the first couple of games when he was throwing the ball, it looked great, just not in the scheme they were playing him in. Not in the plays that he was trying to play. Like he needed to be throwing floaters to get to lead, or he's throwing the ball right before he gets hit. You know to the place where JJ is going to be, Addison's going to be. We've seen a couple of those, but that's not the way I think he throws the ball. He's a fastball thrower,
Yeah.
which the last fastball, the one fastball thrower I can really think of, in my time. There's a lot of fastball throwers now, and big, they can, Mahomes is really good. All these guys are really good at throwing the really fast ball.
Caleb Williams.
But I think of, unfortunately, I
bringing
want
it
to
back
say
to
his
the
name,
Bears.
but Favre. I think of Favre and how fast he gunned that ball in. And that's, especially when it came to Minnesota, that's what he was really like. He threw that ball super fast into the hands. And
When who came to Minnesota?
I mean, I will piggyback on you right there, but that's sort of what I say about Caleb Williams is, and that's the tough thing about being a young quarterback starting right off the bat. Obviously, we know JJ didn't play last year, but this is technically, by all other terms, his rookie year. And when you're learning on the go and you don't get that time developing behind veteran quarterbacks and you don't get that time to really work on your mechanics and work on your little, touch passes. And, we talked about this. I don't know, can't remember if it was last week or the week before with like, that's something that you can tell Jordan Love worked on a lot in the beginning of his career. And that's why he is so accurate downfield and really can hit those finesse throws because that's something you see Aaron Rodgers do all the time, and that's something you see Brett Favre, did all the time. So yeah, and that's going back to where unfortunately JJ doesn't have that luxury in Minnesota right now, nor does Caleb Williams. But again, I wouldn't want Caleb Williams to go backwards anyway. So it's almost like JJ's got to put in the work in this offseason and he's got to stay healthy though. And I'm with you. Like that's got to be the number one and do what you have to do to take care of your body. Caleb Williams talked about this, even last year when the guy was sacked 60 plus times for like an NFL sack record or some shit. He never missed a game because he constantly talked about how he does things to take care of his body. He that's something he takes a lot of pride in. And I'm not saying JJ doesn't do that, but maybe he needs to switch it up and find different ways to, I don't know. And that's the scary thing about it is you can tell pretty early on in players' careers who's injury prone. And it's just starting to seem like JJ McCarthy is that type of person, and yeah, we'll see. I have a couple more questions here. I prepared. Let's, assuming that JJ is the starter next year, which I'm assuming he will be. can that offense like really survive without a run game? Because I'm starting to wonder. w- uh, uh, there's a lot of offenses out there that have identities, right? If their run game is not that good, they have a terrific passing game. If they don't have a great passing game, they have a terrific run game. And then you have the offenses that are just fluid and can result to both depending on game situations. And those are typically the best offenses in the league. But I wonder about Minnesota if they don't have a run game, how this offense looks with JJ.
Um, for me, like you said, every offense has their signature quarterback style, and I think they need to start doing more of a quick style. But JJ's got to throw the ball. 'Cause if he
He
doesn't throw the
does.
ball, he's gonna get smoked.
But he
And
can't
just
with
like
that
he
coloring
learned.
book playbook that he has.
But that's the thing is you can still have a great playbook with quick slants, quick throws, quick screens. Change them into as that quick slant starts getting picked up, make
Change up
that
the
quick slant
crayons.
to a out hitch real quick. And someone who loves running those is Hawkinson. He loves running that out hitch, and then I know. I mean, there's four or five guys that on that field that when the ball's in their hands, they can just make space. And Jefferson is one of the best at doing that. He
It
gets
was
the ball
nice
in
to
his
see
hand.
Jefferson get going this game. That was
Oh
what,
man,
you know,
it was great seeing that. And like give him the ball. Just give him the ball.
yeah,
Give him the ball behind the scrimmage. As
yeah.
long as you're not throwing it behind you and making a fumble.
We've seen that a couple times this weekend.
And but at the same time, like there's a certain thing where you gotta do those things with Justin Jefferson. You gotta do those things with the guys who can handle that ball during the pressure. You don't do it with Naylor.
Yeah.
Speedy Naylor is on the run, wide out in the open. He catches the ball. If he feels that pressure, he gets a little flustered. Addison, I wish he was the same way as Jefferson, but it feels like he can't handle that pressure on that pass,
What do you?
contested passes.
Can I ask you what are your thoughts on JJ and Jefferson's chemistry? Like
I wish they had. I was talking to the my wife about during the game. I wish JJ had the same chemistry that Addison and McCarthy have. Because if that was the chemistry they had, which I'm really hoping McCarthy's fine, he muscles it out because you can't just. They just finally did something a little bit. He went out. Rosmer, at least, that gave that you could see what Jefferson can do with a little bit of confidence just throughout the game. He can make a backup fourth string quarterback look decent. So with his chemistry with McCarthy, it can't be okay for a game and then just where's McCarthy? Like one of them, Jefferson hasn't been out, but McCarthy's been out. So the first game, I think it was week 3 or week 4. It was like the third week, fourth week, something like no, not fourth, second week, right before he got injured, basically. And then the first game, he did great with Jefferson, and then all of a sudden their chemistry was gone. But it seemed like him and Naylor, him like a little bit younger guys. I don't know. He's young, but so is Williams. So I don't understand why it's not picking up. I don't understand what you know if their chemistry isn't improving. Why aren't they trying different things to make it improve? Going to
Yeah.
irritate.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I guess I'm more shocked of like, did they not work out in the offseason together? I mean, this is one of the best receivers in the league, and it just seems
Well,
that JJ and you know what? I have a theory, and it may sound weird, but I have a theory that because Justin Jefferson is such a precise route runner and JJ struggles with his accuracy, it just that's where the disconnect happens because Justin Jefferson is like so nitpicky on the details and just exactly when he's going to break, where he's going to break, what he's trying to do in every single route where I just feel like JJ, whether it's IQ, whether it's just inaccuracy, he just hasn't gotten on that same wavelength with Justin Jefferson yet. And
yep,
whereas,
yeah.
Jordan Addison and Jalen Naylor may not be as polished of receivers, but they're still running the routes. And so JJ can deliver them, a good ball. But that's just something that I think could be happening. I don't have obviously any factual evidence for that though.
I mean, heck, maybe even sometimes JJ McCarthy gets faked out by Jefferson's
Yeah,
little move there.
Yep, that's actually. So, I mean, we obviously just talked about it. The Vikings are out of the playoffs, but of course, I'm sure you want to play spoiler these next 2 weeks, playing 2 interdivisional games. What, as a whole, though, how have you felt about the season, and what do you want to see happen in the final 2 weeks of the season?
Good question.
As a whole of the season, for me personally, it's been awesome because I went to my first 2 Viking games. So that was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
The first game was against the Bengals. Blowout. Great time. Woo. Second game against the Bears. And I've always wanted to go to a Bears Vikings game. And that was crazy. It was completely different than the Bengals game. It was when it was third down, it didn't feel like it was third down like it was against the Bengals. Like the whole energy during the Bengals, it zoned in on the Bengals, but with the Bears, just being the North team, them being 8 hours away, there was more fans, but it just didn't seem like a lot of our fans. I somewhat was disappointed in the Bears game because until like I was calling the score. Like I literally was like 14 points fourth quarter, we're winning this game. That's it. And everyone, the whole like my little section there are just kind of like, oh yeah, if they could throw, blah blah blah. Like everyone was so down. I was just so disappointed. I was like, you know what? Like Vikings need the fans here. Like so. The one thing is I'm disappointed with this season is our fan. I don't feel like we've really like given our guys like the back that they need, even if they messed up once or twice. Like I bleed purple. I I'm I love our
Not for me.
team, even if they mess up. If they do wrong, like I'll admit they do like they'll do some dirty hits. I'll admit when they do. Like during the game, I'll sit next to a Bears fan. I love sitting next to a different opponent's fan because they like sitting next to me. I'm a good sports advocate. That's why we have a good NFC North base. We all
Yeah,
respect each other in a way, except for the Packers. But
yeah.
what are we
How
gonna
how
do?
how are the Bears
But
fans? I'm just curious.
the Bears fans were good. They didn't they didn't want to like believe. They weren't settled yet.
Yeah, we
You
have
guys were up by
PTSD.
14 points. They were just waiting. They were
We were
waiting,
waiting
and
for probably
I was
heartbreak.
talking to the Bears fan. I was talking like my wife. I was like, "This is where the Bears
Yeah.
messed
Yeah.
up.
I mean,
and then all of a sudden,
yeah, these are games
Gyro
we
Santos.
for the past 10 years, these are games we never win. So that's why it's just like we don't like to get too high, but then it's like don't get too low though, because then you just like aren't in it. As you're saying, at the Vikings
fans
games.
need to be in
Yeah,
it.
and so it's just the reason I asked is because that was the game that I saw in Chicago against Vikings fans, and it was very pleasant, and I was actually very shocked. I thought that there'd be like a lot of hostility, and I mean, I have clearly seen more hostility from outer, like not interdivisional fans,
Yeah.
and so I was just wondering if you had a similar experience, because there seems to be kind of like an written respect between like Vikings and Bears, and
I think that
Yeah.
extends to the whole
The-
North, because there's a lot of videos of Chicago
no.
fans going to Green Bay, and they've been welcomed really well.
Oh, interesting. I
I-
would not get along with
It's,
Green Bay
you know,
fans.
No,
the North
but they're
does
going
have-
to their
have-
home,
have
and they
good
get
fan base.
welcomed very well.
Sorry, what'd you say, Dill?
The North does have a good fan base.
Oh yeah.
Two things I loved about the Bears game is once the Bears did win, those tunnels, like I said, there was a lot of Bears fans. Those tunnels, they were
Was it
making
a Green
known.
Bay
Oh, wow.
sucks? Was it a Green Bay
No,
sucks chant?
So I think Green Bay was playing the Giants at that time, and Green Bay
Ooh.
didn't have the game. Like they weren't winning
Yeah.
throughout the game. So
Yeah.
so anytime the
Scoreboard comes up.
stadium kind of game like animosity like towards like Bears and Vikings, we were kind of like getting at each other's throats. Board comes up, Green Bay's losing or tied. We're like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
And
gonna say
then
this.
I think the Green Bay lost to the Browns on the third week.
Huh.
Well, that is when I
Was it
went to
third
the
week or
Bengals
fourth?
game.
Yeah, this-
That stadium blew up during the Packers loss. It was so great. That was one of the loudest
That's funny.
I've heard. It was funny.
That's
was very
funny.
funny.
Dale,
But,
I promise you, no one in the Packers nation cares when you guys win or lose. We don't care.
This is exactly why nobody likes the Packers, by
That's
the way.
fine.
That
We're
exact
all paupers to them.
that exact mentality of
That's
we are
fine.
far superior above any other team in the NFC North.
Why would we care if another team, like, unless it's affecting us in our standing to make the playoffs? At that point,
I'm just
Well, every game does that.
yeah.
not in week 3.
Well,
It
I'll
does
be
now,
happy
but
with
not
our
at that
season.
point.
I'll be happy with our season.
I mean,
when
that's a
we
good point.
tie.
Every game
we
matters.
won't actually tie the Packers because they have a tie, but I'll be happy with our season when we tie the Packers in wins and
Tie?
losses at the end of the
You
year.
want to
He's-
tie?
He's saying technically he can't, but he wants basically you guys to lose out
Oh,
and then win
okay,
out
okay,
and pretty much, have the same amount of wins, I think is what he's getting at.
And losses.
Yeah.
We
don't
would
tie.
have to tie because
Yeah.
We beat the Cowboys and we beat the Browns just like the Bears and Lions did.
Yep.
we also
Yeah.
beat you and we beat the Lions twice. So I don't know. I think it seems
Just
a little bit
once, just
a little
once.
bit
Get ready.
lopsided.
Just get ready.
All right. Well,
Okay.
I'm going to circle back to you, Dill, at the end of the show here. Let's move on to our final NFC North game this week. And it was ayahuasca going into Detroit. And
yeah, you pray to the ayahuasca god. That's what you get.
And Aaron Rodgers leading the Steelers to victory over the Detroit Lions, 29-24. Let's just start it off and just get it out of the way. But DK Metcalf punching a Lions fan. Bro.
He's suspended, right?
He looked
Yeah,
like he
he's
grabbed
gonna
him by the
appeal,
neck
but yeah.
first, like choked him too.
Dude, that was wild.
Apparently he's had issues with this fan.
So yeah, this fan, for a quick backstory, I had to fact check this because I was like confused. So apparently last year, this fan, he's not a Lions fan, so to speak. He's an NFL fan that hates the Steelers or DK. I don't know the history there, but
why was he at the?
so
Yeah,
he
was decked out and
I
Yeah.
understand.
Okay,
Yeah,
God.
I understand. He was in Seattle last year with DK during one of the
Oh,
games,
my
and he
God.
was getting into it with him there. So apparently, this fan and DK have history somehow.
Was he
I
wearing
don't know.
Lions gear last in
I
that game?
don't know. All I did was fact check what Schefter put out, so I don't know. But
there's a
There's-
backstory between
there's some
these
sort
two.
of backstory. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
dude.
There's some.
So-
there's,
Well, he told security.
Yeah, I was gonna
This
say
Yeah.
guy's turning into a
stalker,
dude.
ex-lover.
Right.
I don't know what's going on.
Blue hair,
Yeah.
dude.
so, but
Yeah,
no, I mean,
You're saying, go for it.
Please, the only thing I will say is like, you never want fans to get into players. Players are dealing with so much things already. And like Jackie said it best, like nothing good ever comes from that sort of an interaction. Funny enough, Detroit, Malice in the Palace, that sort of stuff. Like you don't want to deal with any of that stuff. And at the same time, it's not like Ford Field, the fans are breathing onto the bench of the other team. He went around the medical tent back to that fan because I guess they were chirping, whatever. But you don't do that. Focus on the game. Stay on the bench.
What you said,
I know. Yes, I know.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, and I agree, like to the extent of what he says does matter. Words matter. They have meaning.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, DK Metcalf going out of his way to stand right next to a fan, front row, and engage during the game is like,
there's a good video
what are you doing? And it sucks. You're a public figure. People are always going to talk their shit. They're always going to name things at you. Unfortunately, it comes with the territory. Just ignore it and go on. Focus on the game at hand. And like, had he not walked literally right next to this guy, I mean, close enough. Where, like you said, he was like,
I got it.
What?
DK Metcalf's physical confrontation with a Detroit Lions fan will see him miss the rest of the regular season and forfeit.
We talked.
But he's appealing that suspension. Yeah.
My thing is,
I did not know
my thing is that, I think he escalated. He went way above and beyond of what he should have. But if he's already warning the security that something's up with this fan, why the fuck isn't the NFL also doing something about it?
Well, apparently there's other camera views where like, go ahead, Eddie.
So no, please. I already spoke. Sorry.
You haven't spoke the most, so go ahead.
No, so there's been multiple angles. There's one where it's a fan sitting next to the guy, and like I guess he was like waving the jersey or whatever he had for DK initially to kind of get DK's attention, and the fan's like, "Don't sign it, DK, don't sign it, whatever." And I guess so allegedly it was supposed to be that the fan is trying to get a signature from DK mid-game.
I just think that if the fans, I'm sorry, let me rewind. I just think if players are going to engage that way, there needs to be some type of security person present to monitor the interaction. And if the person says something derogatory, then that person is immediately out of the stadium. And vice versa. And vice versa. If the player is doing something, they're also immediately ejected from the game.
That's the part that tripped me up is that, in the different angle where they showed from the side where when he grabs the jersey, there's a cop behind the medical tent that's standing and watching this whole thing. And so I'm just for not knowing what anything was said at the end of it, that's battery, that's whatever it is. Like you should step in there. Like that seems like, hey, let's remove this fan for questioning. Let's deal with this. DK clearly did something. Like such a weird dynamic that nothing happened.
The only thing that I'm afraid of is that this is going to embolden those types of fans to try to get in, to do these types of things to the players. Reaction because now I could get them suspended,
right?
Yeah, and that's the only thing.
They already do it.
Yeah, this has been happening. You're right. This has been happening for far too long, and we kind of already knew that DK Metcalf can be a little bit of a loose cannon, so not very surprising in how he reacted, but definitely surprising in. Actually, no, not even surprising in putting himself in that position because that's just kind of been his MO and not putting himself.
The fans could also be pieces of shit sometimes. Like we love our fandoms, but there are some outliers. Yeah. I mean, we talked about baseball. One of them started talking about the dead person's parent who had just died. Yeah. Like that kind of you can't cross those types of lines even as a fucking fan.
Yeah.
Well, of course, and that's like I said, that's when somebody gets booted. And that be the end of it, ruin their experience. But it's like the players should never actively involve themselves with, that kind of confrontation.
Yeah.
But anyway, talking about the game, wild ending in Detroit, Lions just falling short. And I am still confused about that last call.
As a Lions fan,
I don't
after
know.
rewatching, doing research, the refs called it right. All of the plays in that crazy last drive on both sides, I think were called correctly.
Was the ball in the air?
For which one?
For during the OPI.
There's two. Which OPI?
The last play where the ruling on the field is a touchdown, but there was offensive passing interference. It was not enforced. The game is over. There is no TD.
I will
was
say,
the right call. It was
screw
the
that
right
ref
call.
for how he delivered the message. He knew
Oh,
what he
yeah.
was doing, where it's like, the ruling on the field is a touchdown. Lions roar because, yeah, obviously the fans are like, yeah. And he's like, however, very quietly. And all the fans are like, wait, what? You know, wild.
He should have started with it's
But-
null
It's
and then
wild.
said,
I mean, okay, but this is a perfect example of like these NFL rules, and maybe we're just over complicating
Sure.
shit, because they had to sit there and have a conversation for 5+
Two-
minutes.
From the final, like, quote unquote, end of play to the decision, it was like 3 minutes and 19 seconds
Oh,
of
yeah.
silence. Like, what? I understand you got to figure it out. New York's got to get involved, but it's like, dude, what happened?
Yeah, it's just
the messaging has to be a lot better.
Yes.
Again, I think they got the right call.
I agree.
At
I-
least
it-
give
but
us
it
a ruling
took-
on the field.
But it
Yeah,
also
that's right.
it took me a lot of investigating
Yes.
online to see that this is actually a rule.
Yeah.
But I guess it happens so like
Infrequently.
rarely that it's a hard rule to find.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it is. You don't want to give the team that purposely does something like a penalty an extra play
Give 'em
if
a
they are the
chance, yeah.
reason that they
Right.
caused it. And Amon-Ra clearly pushed off.
And Jalen does still deserve an Oscar for it. I will say that, Mr. Ramsey. It was OPI, but, you know, Ramsey helped sell it, which he's done a lot, but it's an
Okay.
OPI. I'm not arguing the call. I'm just saying Jalen did what he was supposed to.
so. I mean, besides that, you know, crazy sequence at
Yeah.
the end and that final drive, what overall thoughts on that game?
Well, the blatant thought is 12 rushes, 15 yards. That's
Yeah.
not going to get it done, especially when you give up 230 rushing yards. I don't care how good your offense is. I don't care. Jared Goff threw the ball 54 times. That's not Detroit Lions football. That's a combination of factors of our O-line is hurt. Again, same thing like JC said, it's not an excuse. We need to address that this offseason. We got to retool that a lot. Our defense couldn't stop anything outside of Hutch and Jack Campbell. Nobody was able to do anything all game. It was very frustrating that your offense goes and scores, gets you one in the second half because 10-10 at half, whatever. You go down and score 45-yard run, both for a touchdown. Easy completions. Aaron Rodgers is an incredible ball thrower, but it's like the fact that you're letting a 42-year-old do this to you guys. Come on. This isn't prime Aaron Rodgers
He
anymore.
was on Percocet. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. But it's just, you know, it's very
He thought
frustrating.
he was 21 again.
And I mean, I texted Jackie this. I was like, when we got to the chance, meaning like that final drive, I was like, this team does not even deserve to have this chance to potentially win. As a Lions fan, obviously, I'm like, yes, please, here we go. One chance is all I need. But it's very unfortunate that this season turns out the way it is. Again,
You don't know
injuries
how-
suck. Yeah, I know. Yeah, 18 damn IR spots. But
Yeah.
at this point, strength and conditioning, we got to figure it out. I have a PSA later for Lions fans that I'll end.
My thinking was that this is your playoffs. This was a playoff game for you.
Absolutely.
And just like the Packers are dealing with their playoff situation now,
Right.
you had to win this game just to get your seeding where you could potentially take our spot at
Right.
this point for the wild card.
Yes.
And this puts you in a, again, crazy shit could happen. We don't know. You're not
Sure.
officially eliminated,
Right.
but it's not looking good anymore.
No. This team does not deserve
Yeah.
to get to the playoffs. If we end up by some miracle, hooray, I'm so happy. But we're a wild card exit. No questions asked. This is not a deep run team with injuries scheme. I'll get.
I'll get to that right now. It's fine.
Sure. No. Okay. So my kind of PSA, and I want to speak directly to Lions fans, but to the NFC North in general, like we as Lions fans have dealt with all the suffering. Obviously, the diehard Lions fans that are 60 years old, so much more than I did. I can't even compare to what you guys have gone through. But in 4 years, our coaching staff, our front office, our ownership was able to turn around a program, and we got so spoiled in the past 2 years with the magical run in 23, 1/2 away from a Super Bowl appearance. That never happened. 15-2 with literal Walmart cashiers and DoorDash drivers for half of the season on defense. We were so spoiled by that. And just like what happened to Philly when they lost both coordinators, you guys talked about it. We lost an all-pro potential Hall of Fame center in Frank Ragnow. You knew regression was coming, but I still feel like some Lions fans thought that the regression wouldn't be as bad. I don't. I thought that we can go back and I think I said like 10-6 was like, or 10-7 was like my hope for us this year, but it just, this O-line, we got to retool the interior. We got to stay healthy on defense. I don't know what needs to change, but my goodness, this is going to be in my opinion, this season had to happen for the leadership to understand that they have to change their ways, because our last 2 draft classes haven't been as good. They've been riding the highs of hitting the way they hit because they hit on all pros. Dan Campbell's an incredible leader of men, but we need a real OC like John Morton.
yeah.
Thank you so much. I will give Calvin Shepard a pass and give him 1 more year, in my opinion, because I liked what our front was doing when healthy. Up until that Philly game, we played really well. No secondary at all. We lose both all-pro safeties. It's over, whatever. But Dan Campbell needs to stop calling plays. The offense clearly is still fine. We're still the second highest scoring offense under Dan Campbell's play calling. Do not let him call plays. Dan, get you a Mike McDonald type, get you another Ben Johnson type, someone that can be creative and smart and call the offense and trust them.
I think he has to go to college for that.
I think so too.
All the ones that are in the NFL are probably going to get head coaching jobs. And I don't think right now it's going to be an easy fix.
Agreed.
And we talked about this in the preseason, and you and I had arguments about this. Because I remember talking to you about how when you lost to the Niners, that was your Super Bowl window closing. Yeah. And then I was kind of wrong because you guys still made a push, and then you lost to the Commanders.
Yes.
But I still hold that Niners game was the closest you've ever been to a Super Bowl.
Yes. That quote after the Niners game will haunt the Lions. If this is, I'm not calling the downfall. I still think, we're a very competitive team. We can easily fix these things that some tough decisions have to be made. But Dan Campbell with tears in his eyes when he said, it really sucks for you and for these players because this could have been our one only real chance. And it's like, when you hear that stuff, you're like, oh, I don't want to believe it. But look at us 2 years removed. Oh my God, we're on the cusp of missing the playoffs, and God knows what I'm still very confident it's franchise, but
the coach still stands.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to be cruel, but at the same time, the Lions turned around their roster because they were so for so long. They continued to get high draft picks, and that's not been the case these past couple years. Right. And I just wonder how that is going forward, because you still have the pieces in place, but is this a front office that can find diamond in the roughs is the big question for me. And
set me up with the alley-oop. I appreciate you. Finish your thought.
Go ahead.
The knock that Brad Holmes has to finally answer, because it's no longer working. In the first 2 rounds, he's great. He drafts us great talent, as to your point, higher draft capital, higher picks, etc. We can no longer rely on these project picks. The past couple of years, trading multiple fourths to move up and get Giovanni Manu in the 3rd round, moving up for Sione Vaki. Tesla, I'll still give him because we don't know what Tesla could be. Yeah. He could be great, but still give up 2 future thirds. We saw that this year a third could have gotten us Jalen Phillips, an edge rusher for an immediate impact. So what I've seen, and I still fully believe in this team and the scouting department and all that, but Brad Holmes, 3 through 7, those rounds where you build depth, no more project picks. We need to find people that will be immediate depth pieces, not immediate stars. We know how those go, but we cannot rely on draft and develop anymore with the current roster, who's still young, but aging into their quote unquote prime from those first draft classes. So.
Yep. No, I agree. And that's sort of what, that's why I said what I said, is that there's still definite question marks, and how the Lions what they can do basically in going forward. But I mean, besides making the playoffs, what do you want to see happen in these final 2 weeks?
Great question. Stay healthy. That's my biggest. I don't want to see any more injuries. The scary part of the mismanagement of the Kirby Joseph injury and potential retirement, God forbid. I don't want to think about that. What I want to see is the youth movement showing positive signs. Tate Ratledge has been great at guard. I need to see Mahogany getting healthy from that broken foot that he's in. Our backup center who's in right now. I just need to see the youth movement showing me who's actually going to be staying for the future and who we're getting rid of, because some of these project picks that are now our starters, they're not it. So that's really obviously I want to win out. I want to beat the Vikings. I want to beat the Bears and play, not on spoiler, but seeding spoiler and stuff like that. But if we lose these games and we're competitive and we learn from things, which is hard to do in the last 2 weeks of the season, but that's what I hope for as a line.
I mean, makes sense. Alrighty, well, let's get into, speaking of the final 2 weeks of the regular season, lots going down here. So we'll start with today's matchup, actually, because today is Christmas. So,
Merry Christmas.
Lions versus the Vikings. That game could be going down right now while you're listening. So
I'm drunk at this point.
Yep, that's our Christmas Day matchup. Make sure you tune in because again,
It's gonna be a great Christmas.
Hell yeah.
The Lions need to win out. The Vikings want to play spoiler. We'll see what happens there. Then we have another Saturday primetime game. Ravens are playing in Green Bay against the Packers.
Let's go, Lamar. Be healthy, please.
The Ravens also need this win
It's okay.
just
We
as
were
much
rooting
as the
for
Packers.
Rodgers over here, so I get it.
Ravens also need this win just as much as the Packers, so that will be a juicy one. And then, Sunday night, primetime again, Bears are playing the 49ers.
Are you at their home?
Yep.
They are at the Super Bowl site of 2025.
Yep. So I'm expecting a good amount of Bears fans to show up to this game. I almost went
Stay
myself,
home.
but we'll see.
Don't go.
We'll see if JC was yapping over there that
It's
they
raining.
think the Bears can't go into the Niners and
I didn't say
win.
that.
So
I didn't say that.
Yeah, JC, how dare you?
I said I don't think we
So
could
be a
go
statement.
to the Niners.
Tell
and
him,
beat them.
Dill.
No. I'm gonna stop. I said I don't think we
I
could go to the Niners and beat
I
them
swear
because
you told
we can.
us to. I swear you said.
No, I said I'm not afraid of your team. I said I don't think we could go to the Niners and beat them because we haven't been able to ever. We just can't
All right.
beat the Niners ever.
And then the final week of the NFL season, 2 divisional matches to end the year. Lions coming into Chicago. Will the Bears get their redemption game after being brutally embarrassed week 2?
Beat them by 40.
That doesn't
again.
And
count at this
Beat 'em by
point.
40.
And then Packers going into Minnesota. So again, all of these are must wins for everybody. I think if the Bears win this game this week, they can clinch top spot in the NFC North. So big games across the board. But I want to end with Dill, do you have your fun fact? Do you
Everyone's got a fun fact.
I do.
I got one
real
too.
Quick.
Oh.
It's actually been
Okay,
funny
everyone's
that
got a fun fact. We'll start with Dill. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Green Bay plays the Ravens, but so the Vikings have played the Ravens 8 times in franchise history. Okay, they've won 3 times and they've lost 4 times. The times they've lost, we fired our head coach. The times we've won the NFC title.
I think that one's
We
not
lost.
happening.
So you're going to tie.
We lost this year. Okay, so our fun fact is, the seven seasons before this year, shit's happened. It's either we've been at the top.
KOC
Or we
isn't going
fired our
anywhere,
head
bro.
If he does, hey,
He's not
KOC,
going
we need an
anywhere.
offensive coordinator, brother.
But
It's
I
still
don't
be the
know.
top coach in the
I
league.
think it may not be a head coach, but it'd be a starting quarterback.
Ooh. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Question mark.
JC, fun fact.
Okay. My fun fact is in the modern era, there's 26 quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame. Out of all of those, 26.9% only have 1 Super Bowl, and 42.3% of those have 0.
Well, that's only because Philip Rivers has like 30 kids.
Exactly.
Ooh.
So the whole fact that Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers should have more, they're pretty close to being what the Super Bowl Hall of Fame means.
So even
us.
your original point was wrong when you tried to claim that most of them have 1.
No, the majority. I said they either have 1 or 0. That was my statement. The majority have 0, and if it's in the Super Bowl era strictly, and it's 26.9%.
Did you petit that?
What's up?
Did you
I
chat
had
GPT?
to go to NFL.com for that because
Interesting.
Bledsoe and Brady are
Brady's not in the
back-to-back
Hall of Fame yet.
Quarterbacks, and Brady's got like
Brady's not there
Oh,
yet though.
sorry.
He's not eligible. He'll f- the curve up because he has 7. That's it.
All right.
Anyways,
Okay.
Is he not in the Hall of Fame yet?
not yet.
No, it's
No.
not eligible.
He's eligible in
Oh,
28.
he's not eligible.
Yeah.
Oh, well then. Fine.
All right, Eddie. Fun fact.
Hit me. Oh.
He did it.
It's okay. It's a little bit of a twofer. One's a sad one, but we'll end on a happy one. The sad one is with the back-to-back losses. First time in in 3 years since 2022 that the Lions have finally lost back.
Oh, I didn't even
games.
realize.
Oh my
that.
God.
The streak-
Yeah, I knew
The
that.
streak is broken. We for basically since we started 4-1, we alternated win loss the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Lost to the Rams and lost to the Steelers. So broke that streak. So that's the sad one. On the positive side, Jahmyr Gibbs, oh my goodness, breaks the record with his receiving touchdown in this game. A record formerly held by Barry Sanders of the most touchdowns before you turn 24. So again, it is a bit of a stat, but the names on this list: Barry Sanders, Randy Moss, Emmitt Smith. So Jahmyr Gibbs now has 48 to Barry's 47.
Great company.
So he still has 2 more games to play. Obviously, we don't have playoffs probably, but at the very least, he could potentially extend that lead, which is cool for Jahmyr.
Nice. Alrighty. Oh, thank you. Keep me up. My fun fact is now that the Bears have won 6 games this season after overcoming deficits in the final 2 minutes of regulation, not only is this the most in the NFL this year, but it's the most in franchise history. So, very impressive because we're old as so.
How many? I want a stat of like in Chicago, number of like doctor visits this year from like heart pain and like,
Dude.
all that stuff.
Wow.
Because I feel like it's hard to tell.
Cardiologists are
Right,
loving this season.
exactly. Blood pressure meds for you and you and you.
Yeah. And that's crazy is that, we had a lot of close games last year as well.
Yeah.
And this is something we talked about in the beginning in the off season. And I think that's why there's so much like heart attacks happening because we just know what happened last year. And for several years before that, it's such a roller coaster where the Bears like give you hope and then they crush you and then they give you a little bit of hope and then they crush you again. And like I said, these games are typically not games that the Bears win. So again, props to Ben Johnson and flipping that culture because he really has done,
You miss Ben Johnson yet?
one year,
crying.
not even a full year in this with this team. This is just absolutely wild. Alrighty, guys. Well, that was a doozy. We knew it was going to be a long one because we have 4 of us here today. So thank you for sticking with us. Again, want to wish everybody Oh, wait. I had one more question for Dill. All right, Dill. Because I'm only asking you because your team is officially eliminated. But if the NFC North gets 2 playoff spots, who's the second team? Besides the Bears, who have already clinched, who's the second team that deserves that spot?
Deserves or?
I want to say deserves.
Relax, deserves. I'm gonna go ahead. I want to say Green Bay.
Okay, all right.
One, because I don't think the Lions with how many injuries they're going through will compete. I would love to see a rematch of Bears versus Green Bay.
I want to see that too.
I mean, just an episode of you guys talking about it. Great.
The Cups were called
It
today.
would be the definitive
that-
1-1. Whoever wins that one wins out the series.
Me personally, I would like to see the Lions go, but I would love to see competition-wise the
Makes
Packers
sense.
go, just because I think it would be a little bit more. Do I want nobody other than the Bears to go? Yeah, of course.
Can someone dig
But,
up some dirt on the Bears? Just like get them
Um,
eliminated from playoffs.
Can you ship us that cheese grater? Because we're gonna need it in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, of course. I got you, man. I got you. Coming
Hey,
your way.
We're gonna do the skull sign again after we win the
Actually,
Vikings.
I'll be there, so I'll just pick it up.
There you go.
There you go. Alrighty, well, I had to get that perspective there from Dill because I mean,
Wait, don't you guys go against them for that last game, right?
Mhm.
And we go against the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
to run this back
Yeah.
again.
Where
Run
were
it-
you 10 minutes ago?
run
when we
it
said that?
back in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Alrighty, well, again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Follow us on Instagram, follow our TikTok, subscribe to the show. We appreciate all of you and much love across the NFC North to all fans listening, to all of NFC North fandom, because we are literally the best fans in the entire world.
Agreed.
So That's
the
one
only
thing.
we agree.
Yeah, that's one thing we can all agree on. But again, enjoy time with your family, and we will see
Merry
you
Christmas.
next Thursday in the new year. So
Ho, ho, ho.
we'll see you guys next year.
Merry
Classic.
Christmas.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I'm gonna edit for like 40 hours on this.
Hell yeah, brother.